from the front. I am Major James Innes of the 9th Regiment, and I have been sent home to this glorious city under the orders of His Excellency, General George Washington, to bring you great and glorious tidings. For my friends, in these past weeks, a regiment, several regiments of the New England Line, men who serve in the new Continental Army, have just whipped the British in Massachusetts, driven them from Boston, and set that beleaguered country free forever! But alas, my brothers, the country is not safe as of yet, for the rumors that you all have heard are true. Admiral Lord Howe has recently landed 100 British warships off of Long Island. And in their guts, those ships contain more than 30,000 soldiers. And I'm not just talking to you of redcoats. I am talking to you of bloodthirsty Hessians, German barbarians, mercenaries, that the king has drawn from the dark heart of Europe and sent here to ruin and enslave us all. But I ask you, my brothers, are 30,000 pounds of the tyrant king enough to impair your resolve for liberty? No! Can the threats of murderous mercenaries dissuade your desire for freedom? No! Never! And now, my brothers, it is time for each man to look into his heart and to remember that there is nothing more sweet, more precious on this side of Jerusalem than the rights and liberties that our fathers laid down and died for, the rights that they bled for, the rights that drove them across the sea here to America to seek a finer life. Shall we now forsake their immortal memory? No! Or shall we rise and do them justice? Yes! For my friends, we do not only fight to restore the liberties we once knew, but to build a world that is yet known to man. A world where every man might speak his voice freely with no fear of pain or retribution. Where every man might be taxed only by his elected representative. Where there are no lords reigning over us. A world where every man is a king. Yeah! Aye. You offer approbation, you applaud, and you cheer for that notion. But will you fight for it? Yes! Will you stand up and defend this great and glorious dream and make it the reality of ourselves and our children's children for 1,000 years? Yes! And I ask, which one of you will be the first? I need 10 men tonight, men between 16 and 60, brave and able-bodied. Who will be the first to step up? Someone strong, someone clean-shaven. Step forward, sir. Halt! Turn around. Let us have approbation for these gentlemen. Let us hear it for them.
Hey, who else is there? There you are, sir. Right up there.
Come on, sir. Make yourself rich. Make yourself a hero. Up you go. Up you go. Ah, fine.
Well done, man. Well done. Well done.
Very fine. Very fine. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just exceeded our quota! Gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your great and handy choices.
I know.
Since you, sirs, have been the first in this community to step forward and do what is right, I will honor you with having you be sworn in by our newly appointed Attorney General, Mr. Edmund Jennings Rendor.
Gentlemen, today I will issue the oath. At its conclusion, you will respond with "I so swear." You understand? Very good. Raise your right hand. I do this day voluntarily enlist myself as a soldier in the American Continental Army for 1 year on vascular discharge. And I do confirm to bind myself to all rules and regulations as are or shall be established for the government of the said army. Understood? I so swear. Simply put, hey, they're yours.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. My friends, if you were to travel to Massachusetts just now, you would hear in every town and shop, every tavern and hamlet, all them bragging about how they just whipped the British with a bunch of beardless boys. That's what they say. Beardless, New England boys at that. Well, I ask you, my friends, if a bunch of little bald-faced Yankees can put the fear of God into those red devils, think you, sirs and ladies, of the sure terror they will feel when confronted by these real Virginia men! Now, boys, my first orders to you are very simple. I want you men to spend the next 2 days making all necessary preparations for the family, and on the third day, 6 o'clock in the morning, you report to me at the courthouse. You understand? Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Very well, boys and misfits. You guys are samples. I know them all, my God. Fall out. Let us hear information from these boys.
Fight and drums, clear away. From Philadelphia, a unanimous declaration from our representatives to the Grand Congress, July 4th, 1776. Please give attendance to these words.
When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal stations in which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Yes!
That they endow by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends,
It is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes.
And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms which they are accustomed.
But, with a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a desire to reduce them under absolute despotism.
It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security.
The history of the present king is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world.
he has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good.
He has dissolved the representative houses repeatedly, for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people.
He has refused for a long time, after such disillusions, to cause us to be elected.
He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount of payments of their salaries.
He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people.
He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislature.
He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to civil power.
He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation.
For quartering large bodies of armed troops among us.
For cutting off our trade with all parts of the world.
For imposing taxes upon us without our consent.
For depriving us, in many cases, of the benefits of our jewelry.
For transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses.
He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us.
He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burned our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people.
He is, at this time, transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny, already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy, scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation.
In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury.
A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of the free people!
We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states. That they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved.
And for support of this declaration, the firm alliance, and the protection of divine providence,
We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
May God bless these United States.
God.